you'll see in Numbers 23 and 11, where Balak says to Balaam, what hast thou done unto me? I took thee to curse my enemies, and behold, thou hast blessed them altogether. This doesn't make sense. And so he implored him to curse him again. But look at verse 23 of 23. It says, for there is no sorcery against Jacob, nor any divination against Israel. He's saying the problem is I can't curse whom the Most High has blessed. And that if I try to curse him, every time I try to curse him, I can't help but pronounce the blessing. Now, I know you're getting excited, but you're going to hold on to your seat a little bit after I really expose this thing altogether. He says, surely there is no enchantment against Jacob, neither is there any divination against Israel. According to this time, it shall be said of Jacob and of Israel, what hath God wrought? I can't do nothing to them because they are servants of the Most High. Tell somebody, say, that's why you gotta remain obedient. He says, I can't do anything with them because as long as they are obeying the Most High, they're under his protection, and he has an obligation to bless them. He has an obligation to, y'all ain't gonna help me. Well, the writer in Isaiah said it like this, 1:19. He says, if you be willing and obedient, you shall eat the good of the land. Y'all ain't gonna help me. But then he says in verse 20, he says right here in verse 20, watch what he says, but if you refuse and rebel, you shall be devoured by the sword, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken. He was saying that if you are in rebellion, I will allow your enemies to prosper over you. But as long as you are operating from a place of obedience, you're going to see my hand in your life, even in times when it looks like it's impossible for me to do anything. But how many people know what's impossible with man is possible with him? I want you to turn to somebody and just say, who did this to you? Who did this? And so he tries to curse him. Somebody say he tries to curse him. Oh my God, are y'all here? He said, but the problem is I can't do anything with Israel because no sorcerer or no divination, no enchantment, no spell can be cast because the Most High has already promised to cover them. So I can't recite a hex that'll work on them. I can't prophesy a lie on them because every time I try to say their curse, blessings keep coming out of my mouth. Are you here? Are you here? And the other problem, which is revealed in verse 8 of the same passage, you can write it down, is Balaam understood if he pronounced a curse over the children of Israel, it would return upon him. David said it this way in Psalm 64, 2-4. He said, hide me from the secret plots of the wicked, from the rebellion of the workers of iniquity, who sharpen their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the blameless. See, curses will be released by the rebellious, but they will not rest upon the righteous. King says to Balaam, he says, I got this money for you. And I'm trying to give you this money. All you got to do is curse God's people. He said, I don't told you I can't. He said, here's the thing in verse 19 of 23. He said, God is not like y'all. He's not a man that he could lie. Y'all ain't gonna help me. He says, look at verse 19. He says, God is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. Hath he said, and shall he not do it? Or hath he spoken, and shall he not make it good? He's saying he ain't like you. Let me ask you a question. You know you can lie. And you think you can give me enough money to lie. And I want the money, but I can't lie because God didn't lie. He said they was blessed and that's it. He said Israel can't be cursed and that's it. He said, but I tell you what, because I really want this money. I can tell you how they can be cursed. Say it again. Disobedience. So what we going to do, chapter 24, he says, we going to send y'all women. And we going to send y'all women with idols. And see, because the Most High already told them, don't mingle with these heathen women. Don't marry these heathen women. And so we can't curse them, but they can curse themselves. Somebody said, who did this to you? Who did this to you? You've been spending most of your life blaming other people for the stuff you're going through. And all you had to do was obey the Most High's word. And everywhere you went, your enemies would have feared you. Because when you came, you didn't come by yourself. Y'all ain't going to help me in here. Look at somebody and say, who did this to you? It's easy for you to blame some witch or some sorcerer. But the problem is you've been blood-bought and born again. And so once you've been blood-bought and born again, you came under the Most High's protection. And no weapon was able to. And every tongue that rose up against you, the scripture said, you shall condemn. And so the truth of the matter is, you know, what we do is we got the Adam complex, that we spend our lives blaming other people for choices that we made. Adam said, this woman that you gave me is the problem. This is what happened. No, that's not the problem, because I didn't give the instruction to her. I gave the instruction to you. And when God speaks to you, even in moments like this, y'all ain't gonna help you. He's trying to remind you that you're not in the situation you're in because of what somebody else has done. You're not having problems with your money because of what somebody else has done. You having problems with your money because you done made your money your God. Y'all ain't gonna help to me. But how many people know that money is not your God? It's a resource. Am I talking to the right people? Somebody say, money ain't my God. It's a resource. And the thing about resources, they have to come from a source. That's why in the book of Haggai, in the 2nd chapter, before it gets to the 19th verse, he starts telling Zerubbabel and Joshua, he said, the silver is mine and the gold is mine. He was letting them know the money all belonged to me. Don't you sit here and worry about how you're going to be taken care of, because in the 1st chapter, he started rebuking Israel. He said, you sit here and you take care of your own houses while the house of the Lord lay in waste. He said, but that's okay. When I finish with you, it'll be like you got holes in your pocket. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me in here. He said, because the silver is mine and the gold is mine. The cattle on 1,000 hills belong to me. Stop serving and worshiping the resource and start serving the source, because when the resource run out, if you got a relationship with the source, somebody holler, you can get it again. Man, I told you, I used the example years ago about the Wonder Bread store that used to be in Henrietta, and it had all of the Wonder Bread products in it. And if the Wonder Bread store was closed down, if you had a relationship with the manufacturer, it wouldn't matter that the store was closed down. All you have to do is make a phone call. And see, what you need to understand, you can't call money to you, but you can call the God of money. And I ain't talking about the God of this world. I'm talking about Jehovah Rapha. I'm talking about the Lord that provides. Y'all ain't gonna help me. Jehovah Shalom, who is your peace. I'm talking about Yeshua HaMashiach. He's the Prince of Peace. Y'all ain't gonna help me. And when you run out of a resource, you can put a demand on the source. Am I talking to the right people? I wish I had somebody that'll preach with me in here today. Somebody holler, I got a relationship with the source. That's why some of y'all who've been worrying about how things are going to turn in your favor, all you got to do is walk in obedience. And by the time you leave here this week, y'all ain't going to help me. What you couldn't do for yourself, favor's going to open up the door for you. Man, I wish I had 3 people in here. Look at somebody say, my money look funny and my change is strange, but I'm in covenant with the Most High, and I've never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging bread. Do I have a witness in the building? Do I have anybody in here that is in real covenant with the Most High? And you walk in obedience, and I'm telling you, every time you turn around as the old saint, he keep on. I thought I had some help up in here. Y'all ain't gonna help me. I need somebody in here to holler real quick and said, who did this to you? Well, you know, I've been in a bad relationship. That wasn't the problem. The problem was that you entered into the relationship when the Most High already had told you to come out from among them and be ye separate and not be unevenly yoked with unbelievers. Y'all ain't gonna help me, but maybe you was never a believer. Y'all ain't gonna help me. That's why you're so familiar with the unbeliever. I ain't get no help up in here. Look at somebody real quick and say, do you really believe? Because if you really believe, you won't get desperate enough just to hook up with somebody that'll take care of you for one night. How many people in here know a one night extravaganza can leave you with years of pain? I wish I had somebody. I need somebody that's not wonderful real quick. And you just think real quick about how if you would have just made some better choices and some better decisions, you wouldn't be dealing with baby daddy drama. You wouldn't be dealing with baby mama drama. I had to come down your road because sometimes when you're walking in self-righteousness, you forget that you were who you used to be. Y'all ain't gonna help me because he don't delivered you so good, you don't look like what you've been through no more. But I believe I got about a handful of people in here that can praise him because you made some jacked up decisions that should have killed you and took you out, but his grace in it. How many people in here you hear and you hear off of grace? You hear off of. Let me talk to somebody that ain't so wonderful in here. You hear off of grace. You should have been consumed. The sin should have took you out. You should have never recovered. You should have lost your mind. You should be dead. You should have gave up and quit. You should have threw in the towel. But when nothing else could help, his love lift. Anybody been lifted up out of hell by the love of the Most High? I need you to nudge somebody real quick and say, who did this?